And now, your official TigerBait live show with Mike Scarborough and Buddy Songy starts now.
All right, everybody, welcome in TigerBait Live, a big show tonight. Buddy Songy's back in the house, and of course, he predicted LSU to beat Clemson a couple of weeks ago. We didn't get his comments on that, but since then, LSU had a somewhat lackluster performance against Louisiana Tech. I pretty much give a mulligan on that one, but the offensive line does need to get better. That's why the title of this show is, if LSU comes out high intensity, they'll dispatch Florida pretty. I think they will cover the spread and more if they come out with a higher intensity level than they did Saturday night. A lot to discuss tonight. We'll go for a solid hour. If you're enjoying the show, please hit the like button. And welcome in, buddy.
Good to see you, Mike. As always, appreciate Charlie Hannegriff filling in for us last week. We had about 4 speaking engagements in 6 days. I got one more left with the Baton Rouge Roundtable in about a week or two, and I am glad to get over talking season. And quite frankly, the ecstasy and the thrill of victory in week one. You have this adage, you're supposed to improve the most from week 1 to week 2. But when you go out with Beyonce and go to French Market Bistro and have a great time, and then you got to come home and go out with Roseanne Barr and go through the McDonald's drive-through, that's my analogy for Louisiana Tech. Mike, so much build-up with the 9 months, and I know Coach Kelly said we wasn't flat. They were flat, and the game plan was flat. And my big question this week, Tiger fans, is what is the identity, and what do you want the identity to be on offense? I thought Joe Sloan and BK did a fantastic job of showing you what we saw during spring and fall camp. Now, how many times have we said this? Man, we see all this stuff. The week before the Clemson game, the Wednesday before, I said, look, I don't want to talk. All that stuff that we were talking about, bubbles, screens, drop off to Caden Durham, and then, of course, some of the creative runs, all that came to fruition. Should have been 24 to 10. I'm tired of hearing all this crap about they called it the right way. They didn't call it the right way. I don't care if you're wide receiver, running back, or whatever, when you cross the plane of the goal with the football and possession in your feet in, it is a touchdown. And so I'm tired of hearing the SEC and all this other stuff that they called it right. They didn't call it right, but that's another story for another day. That being said, now you have a dangerous opponent. Now, you and I both sat here last year and said Billy Napier's not going to make it, and he had the kahunas to give the job to DJ Lagway. Then they got hot a little bit, beat LSU, gave them a little confidence, and then, of course, they had a couple of other big wins. But real disappointed with the play calling and execution in week 2. The great thing about it is 2-3 weeks down the road, nobody will remember how stinky that game was.
No.
But 2-0, and now you got to take care of business.
Seen many very good and great LSU football teams go out against opponents like that and play similarly.
Same thing with Nichols the previous year.
That said, the offensive line still has a ways to go, and we'll see how that plays out. I think the reason why there's a confidence level, regardless of whether you don't like play calling or offensive line or blah, 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 is Blake Baker's defense. That's where you get your confidence. And I can't wait to see the way they defend DJ Lagway. And I think LSU takes care of business. I don't see LSU losing a home game this year. I just don't see it. And then when you look at the rest of Florida's schedule, I don't see how Napier survives. I don't know how he makes it past mid-October.
I looked at the schedule, Mike. I don't see how they win 4 games. They have a brutal schedule. Missouri, you're eating cupcakes. I don't think they leave the state of Missouri for the first 6 weeks, but this schedule with Napier.
And then all we need.
We were wrong last year. I don't know how we're going to be wrong this year with that schedule.
Now beyond that for Florida, you hope that DJ Lagway stays healthy. He gets in the portal. And LSU is in the hunt for him in the transfer portal in December.
Well, you've been saying all along that the quarterback for the 26 LSU team is not on campus right now. And so
DJ Lagway to LSU makes sense.
There you go. He's calling it early. And obviously But look,
no
folks,
info. I'm just having fun, but it does make sense, don't it? You tell me in the comments.
enjoy that week. I wasn't able to enjoy it with you. And look, bottom line is this. You hit the nail on the head. Blake Baker is going to give LSU a chance to be in every football game, and there are still a lot of landmines on the schedule. But when you play defense the way they're playing it, they're going to be tough to score on. And, of course, I think they can get we said this all along. Defense is going to have to carry this team for the first 3 weeks, but you still got to get some semblance of a run game. They're averaging 20 points and 118 yards a game rushing, folks. That's not good enough to get you to the SEC championship. You're still going to make the playoffs if you go 10-2. But we got to see some progress on the offensive side of the ball. And, of course, we'll update the injuries. So it looks like Braylon Moore might play. Trey'Dez Green, I'm pretty confident in saying, is not going to play.
All right, Brad David, right out the chute. Good evening, Mike and Buddy. Did you see the rankings from that lady with the Associated Press? What a joke the AP poll is. I heard some scuttlebutt about it. Look, some of the people that get to vote in the AP poll is a joke to me. They're never going to ask a guy like me or Buddy to be a voter. One, because I run what they call a team site or a fan site. They're always going to look for a newspaper guy. I know they had somebody just not long ago that worked for a newspaper in the state of Louisiana that asked out loud in a press conference, where is the Orange Bowl played? That person had a vote in the top 25 poll.
Well, there was another guy locally who did not realize the team had lost. They had a late game out on the West Coast and actually voted accordingly, thinking that they had won and they had lost.
And by the way, the coaches poll isn't much better because most of the coaches don't fill those brackets out. They're someone in their office does, or their sports information director at the particular school. So there's a lot of issues with all those polls.
I saw the young lady. The only thing that I think people took issue with is that she kind of made a joke of it. Like, there's 65 of us, 66, whatever. Really doesn't make that difference. But, these fans, let's be honest, they want their teams to move up. And quite frankly, I thought LSU going from 9 to 3 and 4 was a little bit of a jump. I think maybe they're like 5 and 6. They still got some answers to be had with the offensive line. But bottom line is,
by the way, because everybody did not look fantastic this weekend. I mean, only Oregon and Ohio State really looked the part. Georgia looked awful.
Yeah.
So it was like, had everybody in the top 10 played like a top 10 team, LSU would have dropped.
Yeah. A lot of parity this year, folks. Your Tigers are going to be there every week with this defense.
All right. Robert Miller brings it up, and he says, rest in peace, Charlie Kirk. Buddy and I were talking about before we went live, and it's just it's absolutely senseless. I don't care what side of the political spectrum that you're on. There's no reason for anything like that to take place. And what I know of Charlie is that he liked to debate, but he was always did it with respect for the other side, and it makes no sense. It truly is a national tragedy. And he says, good evening. All right. A lot of, Zach Nagy in the house. His buddy looking chipper tonight. And so is Preston Guy in here. He says, Rob Boudreaux, we have some sick people in this world. So, a lot of this. Spectrum Worker, disagree, going to be a tough game. No, I'm not saying it's not going to be tough. I'm not saying LSU is going to blow them out. But I think if LSU comes in with a high intensity level, and if in particular they can score and jump on Florida early, I think it sets the stage for LSU to win it by double digits.
Look, Florida is playing for their livelihood. Billy Napier is playing for their livelihood. By the way, he has taken a bunch of criticism with his play calling, and he's adamant he's still going to call the play Saturday night. DJ Lagway has been banged up for about the last 6 months, and you and I talked about it. He had a variety of injuries. I will tell you this. I don't know how I found that game, and I don't remember all the games that I watched and what time, but South Florida got a couple of 15-yard penalties, and I don't know who's teaching these guys. And of course, the pro at Philadelphia did it with Dak Prescott, but that's the biggest insult you can have on a football field. We talk about fighting and all the other stuff, but the spitting, there was a spitting incident with a Florida defensive lineman, and Billy has not said what the punishment is going to be. It's probably going to be internal. But anyway, because of that penalty and another one, they went on down and they just ran the football and settled up for a very easy field goal to beat them 18-16. They were panning the crowd. You said it today on the radio show. There's a lot of people giving up on Billy Napier. So from that point, it's a must-win for them. It's a must-win for LSU and Brian Kelly because he's 20-2, and you better not stumble at home because you got to take care of business. And then your first challenge, if you do that, is that Ole Miss, of course, the end of September.
I'm just totally, and you brought it up. It's a lot of it's recruiting, but for them to have this many coaches since Urban Meyer and have not been a major factor in the SEC all these years is astonishing to me. And I've got a buddy of mine who's a big Florida fan, and it was 25 years ago. Nick Saban talked about how Florida was the job. That's not the job anymore. And it was always, if LSU was first as far as stadiums, Florida Field was second.
Yeah, the Swamp.
When was the last time that anybody's had the Swamp in the top 5? In fact, most of the time I don't even see it in the top 10 anymore. I'm told it because it's all corporate now, that it doesn't have any of that old glory that it used to have. So I don't know what the answers are at Florida. It's not like all these coaches they've hired are just donkeys. I mean, these have been some guys with some ability, but like you said, it's like
when you get all those 3 stars, Mike, you're not going to compete. Miami has John Ruiz. He's a big-time booster. I've already got in trouble a couple of times. He's the one that gave the Twins money and got caught. And then, of course, Florida State, Mike Norvell. I know you like him. They were 2-10. They've come back with 2 big victories back in the top 10. But, man, when you're Florida and the big dog, you got to get everybody you want. I see more 3 and 4 stars and not very many 5 stars. And so we'll see.
Yeah, when was the last time you were worried about Florida wide receiver speed with Florida?
Yeah.
It was just they had them coming out the woodwork.
But they will be a challenge, and I think that everybody's got to take into consideration. It's a gold out. BK's asking for your help, and I had quite a few people texting me in Tiger Stadium saying I should have bought a book. This is the most boring game I've been to. This is like, let's go down and talk and gossip at halftime. And so I did not understand, and I hate to keep making this point, but after what I saw offensively against Clemson, I did not understand that poo-poo game plan that they had against Louisiana Tech. I just didn't understand it.
Well, and I think Nussmeier, too, was trying to go for the home run ball a bit too much. He had a lot of open receivers underneath.
He had a bad game in the first half for sure.
Yep. All right. We're here each and every week. Our title sponsor is Pride Roofing. Let's hear from Mike and Alex.
Hi, I'm Michael with Pride Roofing.
I'm Little Alex.
Have you been affected by wind, hail, and tornadoes on the North Shore? Well, we're here to help.
Insurance claim, no problem.
We also have a new franchise location in New Orleans.
We don't build projects, we build memories.
Though you know Pride Roofing is the official roofer at TigerBait.com.
In fact, notify TigerBait and we'll give you a free roof inspection. And on top of that, you get a free year subscription. Remember to call us at 855-PRIDE-16.
That's it. 855-PRIDE-16. Give them a call. When you call for your free roof inspection, say TigerBait. You're going to get TigerBait Premium free for a year. That's a $99 value. They're paying for it. And again, commercial or residential roof anywhere in the state of Louisiana. Of course, main branch in Hammond, brand new office here in Baton Rouge, Houma, Thibodaux, Mandeville, Madisonville, Covington, everywhere, New Orleans, multiple branches. And they'll beat any of their competitors' pricing if you've got it on their letterhead by $150. So again, Pride Roofing is give them a chance, and always a couple of $1 million worth of shingles in stock. So if you need a roof, if it's an emergency, they're likely going to be able to get you fixed up within days because they've got more than likely what you're looking for as far as the color shingle and the quality of the shingle that you want.
Look, I pointed to this sign right here and said that Blake Baker and LSU's defense was going to bring the pride back. Let's have a little fun tonight. I'm thinking they may have a goal line stand against Florida this weekend because Billy Napier is going to have to roll the dice, Mike. He's not going to be able to play for field goals. By the way, that play calling inside the red zone is another thing that LSU's got to clean up. BK even acknowledged that. But that pride that you have when you do business, PFM and many people, and it's like clockwork, folks, when you get a company that you deal with and they take care of it the way they do. You tell your friends, you tell your relatives, you tell your nephew, your son-in-law, and that's what we do. We don't spend a lot of stupid money on crazy commercials on TV all across with all this silly stuff. We're professional. Once again, the roof over your head is just as important, if not more so, than roof over ours. 1-855-PRIDE-16. Tell them the man, Mike Scarborough, and yours truly sent you over.
All right, Dane Bergeron with a super chat. He says, I will have a big batch of alligator sauce pecan for the tailgate party near Victory Hill. Dr. Daniels will be there along with attorney Jim Beam. Tigers by 10 Saturday night. Okay,
Dane, you did misquote me saying that I picked Clemson to beat LSU, but other than that, you and I are tight.
Yeah. Vince Graves Sr. agree this is going to be a close game, Mike. I don't know. I think LSU covers the spread. And what is it now? 8.5?
It's been fluctuating. Yeah.
I think LSU wins by 10 plus.
Yeah. I'm picking the same score as
last year. 10 plus is still a tough game.
Yeah. Well, look, I think that everybody's going to be chomping at the bits. The fans are going to have it. They're going to bring the action. It's going to look beautiful with the gold stadium. And let's be honest, folks, LSU has won 5 of the last 6 against Florida, and BK is 2-1 against Billy Napier. And you do have to respect them. But what I saw, if LSU can just throw the football to set up the run, then maybe some success. South Florida went down that field, Mike, and was pushing Florida around and getting a push. And that brings us to this question about this offensive line. If Braylon Moore plays appreciably better, DJ Chester called in at the last minute, first play of the game, you hate it. What did we say? Nuss, Braylon Moore, Caden Durham, Mansour Delane. Those 4 have got to stay healthy. You feel like he's going to play. I'm a little worried if he comes back too early because you don't want that ankle to get worse. But bottom line is that if you throw it to set up the run, then all of a sudden you got some creative play calling that. But look, with that defense, Mike, I expect Whit Weeks to have a big, big game this weekend. He's been a little quiet. His brother outshined him. Oh, by the way, Devon Keys had a big game, and Wes Weeks. And, of course, Mansour Delane, the best corner LSU's had in a long, long time. So, look, I got him winning 27-16 by 11, but would love to see that offense get on the same page.
Dr. John Sibley Butler with a super chat. He said, the talent level at Florida scares me. They also had touchdowns called back against South Florida. Will Florida open it up with 60% of plays to the flag? Look, their back is against the wall. I think that they're going to air it out, and they've got nothing to lose. I think Billy Napier knows after losing to South Florida at home, he's got to steal one.
By the way, this is a personal game for Jack Pyburn. You're going to see number 44 doing this a bunch, and he is going to get that crowd running. Dr. Butler, I don't normally disagree with you. I'll ask you this. 1-85. LSU have more talent than Florida? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. LSU's got more talent than Florida. You talk about Florida's talent. Look, they're just like every other SEC team, but I don't think they've got the depth, and this is what you have to sink your teeth into. LSU being too deep basically everywhere lets them play fresher. Oh, by the way, the big guy that we talked about is a nose guard. Sadir Mitchell is no longer on the team. Wilson Alexander with the Advocate asked him today about that on the teleconference, and Coach Kelly said basically we have standards that you have to live up to, and he did not do that. So his departure.
He's been a bit of a problem child since he got here.
Well, but look, when you see 91 and 92 get reps before him, you knew he didn't play in the first 2 games. So I'm sure they had a heart-to-heart talk. Not going to hurt him. But once again, I think LSU will show. Florida doesn't have those wide receivers and the defense that LSU has.
Dr. Butler, thank you so much for that. All right, need to talk about the official electrical company of TigerBait.com. That's Dykes Electrical. You see it on the screen. And no matter how big or small your electrical needs might be, Dykes is wired for success. You need a brand new 10-story office building, they can wire that. A 200,000 square foot warehouse that you need built, they can wire that. Expanding your existing commercial building, changing out a breaker, whole electrical panel, or just a receptacle, or upgrading the old lighting in your home or office, they can wire that. Give them a call today at the number on your screen, 225-216-9180 for a free estimate on your project. And make sure to let them know that TigerBait sent you in. They're huge LSU fans over at Dykes Electrical, one of the great Baton Rouge area companies, licensed, bonded, insured, and just a great group of electricians. And they do it the right way over at Dykes Electrical. Give them an opportunity to bid on your project. You'll be happy that you did. And Stroubes, you see it on the screen, that big cowboy ribeye, really one of the great steakhouses in all of South Louisiana. Go to 107 3rd Street, downtown Baton Rouge, and it's a 5-star dining experience. They got the USDA prime black Angus, the 100% certified Wagyu New York strip, the dry aged pork chop, the black truffle lobster pasta, redfish duck Louisiana, steak Diane. So book your reservation online tonight at Stroubes.com, and please let them know that TigerBait sent you in. If you go to Stroubes.com, you'll see the entire menu online, and it's some really, really great food.
Incredible pork chop. By the way, if you are interested in a reservation, call them. They will tell you where to park. They'll tell you the best time to come in, navigate you in and out, do a great job with PR. Check them out. You will love your experience. But you like the cowboy. I like the pork chop.
I've been going New York strip lately.
New York strip? Okay.
Yeah. Dane Bergeron asks if I'm wearing a Sisty Blue shirt tonight. Yes, I am. You know, when Ed said that, I had to look at my closet because I have at least 20 of those.
But look, praise the good Lord. Finally, the streak is over with. That was a load and an albatross on the neck of every Tiger fan. But Mike, you know, Bobby Baton told me a long time ago, you're only as good as your last win. And you got to forget those 2 games, move on to the next one. If LSU is focused, I think they'll take care of business. And you've got a cupcake with Southeastern. I think the big first challenge of the year will be at Ole Miss on the road in week 5. Then you get the open date. Lenore Sellers is going to be tough to handle. You probably don't beat them last year if he doesn't get hurt. But as you said earlier in the year, if LSU beats Clemson, this schedule sets up pretty nicely for the Tigers this year.
Spectrum Wellcare, BK called out Brad Davis calling the offensive line being technically deficient against Tech. When you see multiple guys, several offensive linemen, of course, Weston Davis went back in, Tradez Green, when you have 3 guys go down in a game like that, that is absolutely due to a lack of intensity most of the time. And I think that's what it was. But that offensive line is got to get better. It's just got to get better each and every week. And if it doesn't, then BK's got to have to, I think he's got to make a decision.
Well, Brad has brought in the 4 stars and the 5 stars. By the way, I am going to ask Coach Kelly tomorrow at 4:45 about Carius Kern. The last time we saw him, folks, he wasn't at the scrimmage. We had the actual opportunity to see the walkthrough scrimmage the Saturday night before the opening game, and Carius Kern had been backing up Weston Davis. So I don't know if that was injury related or what. We saw him in the previous weeks or so with some false start penalties. He was very down on himself. But I want to see Carius Kern. You and I both think that he's going to be in the mix at offensive line. You want to see him at guard or tackle, Mike?
I like to see him at guard.
Yeah, I do too. And by the way, let's give a shout out to Tyree Adams to come in and wear the jockstrap position that Will Campbell did on the left side. He has played fantastic. Mubinga is hit and miss. Cohen Eccles getting a little bit of PT. DJ Chester's played left tackle, guard, and center. And so, but they've got to get on the same page. And I think play calling can help them a little bit with creativity. But if you run it right up the gut on first down, I did a little study on it. There were 8 wide receiver runs with Barry Brown, Xavier Thomas, and, of course, Aaron Anderson. They all got nice yardage. Then you throw Harlan Berry, who had the great run. The other 25 rushes under 2 yards a carry. They've got to fix that problem. You and I aren't well versed and get paid enough to come up with the answer, but they got to fix the problem with the run game.
Look, we knew the offensive line was going to be a work in progress, and I said on your show, is there anything been more disappointing or a head scratcher than the production of Chris Hilton after 2 games and Caleb Jackson? To me, those are the 2 guys on offense that, and to be fair to Chris Hilton, it's a lot of it's been because the focus of the offense has been the short game but when is he going to get uncorked deep and how much of that is a telltale sign of their confidence in that offensive line to protect for them to have a deep passing game.
Yeah, he had a bad game against Clemson. Chris will tell you he just was not there. But look, it's real simple, folks. You throw the football to Chris Hilton in space and let some of those big guys with the bunch formation block for him. You've got to get him back mentally, physically, and psychologically. I go to Chris Hilton 2 or 3 times on the short dink and dunk. Aaron Anderson, once again, leading LSU with 14 receiver catches. We know Xavier Thomas is playing well. Nick Anderson's got to step up. I predicted him to score the first touchdown in the first game. He didn't, but he did get one in the second game with Trey'Dez Green out. Nick Anderson's got to be a big part. We don't know about the availability of course, Destin Hill, because he was banged up with a fractured hand. But Chris Hilton, to me, would get 2 or 3. We saw it in camp. You throw it right out, parallel to Chris Hilton, and you got 2 or 3 big uglies blocking for him, and he makes that cut. You got to get him involved, and he's probably not feeling good about his role right now. Get him involved early. If Joe gets the remote control, Joe, let's see Chris Hilton have a couple of opportunities, please.
Yep.
Because he can run, Mike.
Yep.
And he's got frustration.
Music, letting us cook. B. Washington, looks like the running plays don't get Caleb downhill fast enough. Dane Bergeron says, get the ball to Aaron Anderson in space. B. Washington, get Chris Hilton the ball while moving. And Dr. John Sibley Butler, Hilton will have a breakout performance against the Gators. Jeremy Franks, hey, Mike and Buddy, if South Florida beats Miami, do y'all think they deserve to be in the top 5? I mean, it really does set up for South Florida to be, there at the end of the season, if they take care of business, to be a playoff team.
Top 5, no. Top 10, maybe. But look, they took care of Boise State, now took care of, obviously, Florida at the Swamp, like you alluded to. It's funny you mentioned that earlier. I was kind of thinking and doing the show, but when is the last time the Swamp was in any of these polls as tough as stadiums? Look, we all know that Spurrier.
That was always the debate. Was it LSU or Florida?
Spurrier and Urban Meyer and all of that, but they just don't have it. And, folks, it's because of the product on the field. It's hard to have a great crowd when you lose confidence in your team and it's boring football. So Napier's going to probably have some trick plays. Napier's going to go deep, but I like what LSU's secondary, and I like the way they play in the deep ball. I expect Pyburn to have a big game. He's going to be egging you on. But this week, I like Weeks to be in that backfield all night long.
Dane Bergeron, don't forget the halftime show. Charlie Alexander's jersey will be retired.
Super classy guy. I had him on yesterday. Number 4, Mike, I'll never forget.
That's the era where I was just getting of age and really grasping LSU football. 10 years old, Tiger Stadium, those big, 77 Nutton Rice. Was there a Wyoming blowout there as well? Carlos Carson, that era.
6'1", 215, and Charlie A. told me yesterday he ran 4.35 in the 40. Of course, played with the Bengals, got really close to the Super Bowl. They didn't win it. He got stopped on about the 1-yard line on a swing pass, but super classy guy, has the come-on-man seasoning, and just a well-respected guy. And I got to say, this is the guy that's got to be next. I think Kevin Falk, not that I'm telling anybody, but my opinion is that Kevin Falk deserves that honor as well. But only 4 people, Cannon, Casanova, Stovall, and Alexander now in that storied little group.
Kevin Falk.
Kevin Falk in a couple, 3 years, you expect it?
Kevin Falk, and then if you go down the line and start years after that, Then you start getting in the. I think. What would you do from 03? And what would you do from 07? Or would you go straight to Peterson and the Honey Badger?
Yeah. Well, look.
And then
With Burrow and
then you get to Burrow
and Jaden Daniels. I mean, nobody's won that 9. I don't know. They may even take that 9. There's a difference, folks. Jersey retired, you can wear it. Number retired, only one in the history. Billy Cannon. No one will ever wear 20 again. But of course, look, a lot of Tiger fans appreciate Charlie A. He's an old schooler.
Jaden Daniels,
yeah. But I do think Kevin Falk deserves that honor, and I expect it to happen.
Would there be anything on the 03, anybody on the 03 team that deserves that honor?
Oh, man.
Or 07?
I don't know. I don't know. We just know that you can't give it to everybody because it becomes, not so special a club. But
I almost think you had a lot of really good guys, but you didn't have that. My mind takes me immediately to Tyrann Mathieu and Patrick Peterson.
Yeah, sure.
After Alan Faneca. Yep,
Alan Faneca, certainly.
Yeah. Justin Vincent, no, I wouldn't.
Well, if we did it on 1 year to freshman year, JV, Mike and I saw Justin Vincent the other day in the parking lot, and we got to have a shout out. I'll never forget his mama and you and I and all reacted, and that was just an incredible year, that freshman year for Justin Vincent. But as we know, it's hard to duplicate it. But look, Faneca.
To me, it's like people that were either Heisman winners or because Charles Alexander was third in the voting.
Yeah.
Or went, or that type of guy.
He was the first really big guy that brought the size and the power. And of course, Caleb Jackson, you mentioned Caleb Jackson. I saw a couple of plays. He missed a block, and I mean, Frank got a grab on him. I'm hoping to
Caleb Jackson and Alexander are probably similar in size.
Yeah, that's what I say. But Charlie A knows the one thing: run to daylight, you high school kids. I don't care if it's called in the A gap. If there's a hole out here in the C gap, take it and run to the house. Caleb is going to take a while to get back on the field after that ass chewing that Frank gave him Saturday night. Yeah,
Glenn Dorsey, I can see that.
Yeah.
What about Marcus Spears?
Well, he's going to be
Devin White, Buckus Award winner.
He's going to be in the Broadcasting Hall of Fame when it's all said and done with the big swagoo.
Yeah. LSU basketball just offered his son. His daughter plays volleyball for Texas.
Mm-hmm. Good prospect, I heard.
Are both Spears kids going to be Longhorns rather than Tigers? Vic Nettles Jr., Chris Hilton has to get involved. I'm just miffed by it.
Hey, want to also mention this, and I used to have a joke when LSU had the dropsies that the guys went out to the bar and ordered lemon drops. There were about 5 drops this past weekend, 2 of them in the end zone. Okay, so that's got to get cleaned up. Kyle Parker usually catches everything. He had a drop. With the.
I think Bauer Sharp has not been what I thought he'd be so far.
And so I think Bauer Sharp is blocking so much. You got to get him a little free where he's got some space. But that'd be a nice call for you to see Bauer Sharp get in the end zone. But
I want to see Chris Hilton. I want him to do what we thought he'd do this year. Music. Florida can come out flat or be highly motivated. Our defense will kill their dreams either way. Defense is what made LSU so dominant, and it's back. Music's always got some good comments. Jeremy Franks, do you think girls basketball make it to the Final Four? They might. We get our first look at them next week or 2 weeks. What is it, the 24th? They have an open practice. They're going to start practicing in a couple of weeks. Look, man, I think Florida definitely is going to come out and be inspired. The key for LSU is to more than match them and punch them in the mouth early. Jump on them with a quick score if you can.
All right, I'm going to ask you this question. I almost ask it every week, but now we're back in Tiger Stadium after the Clemson game. LSU wins the toss. BK takes the football or goes on defense?
I think he should go on defense.
I think he should, but what do you think he's going to do?
I think he goes on defense.
Really? Okay. We'll see. And let's make sure that we all know this.
I could be wrong.
Yeah, well, you just never know what he's going to do. He did finally take some field goals at the end. And look, folks, we're not trying to be personally critical, but this is a year.
I wonder how much he bases it off of what he sees in pregame warmups.
Well,
I think he does it by gut.
Yeah, it's gut feeling. But what I was getting ready to say, Mike, is that this is a year for BK. He's not going to have this kind of defensive talent and depth. You don't have a quarterback coming back. You need a bunch of players next year. I know we're all confident that Austin Thomas and his great team are going to bring them in there, but this is a year you've got a chance, now that you're in 3 and 4 range in the polls, where if you play solid football with that defense, special teams, and then coming around with the offense, you got a chance to be a top 5 team all year long. And I think as he asked the fans to get involved, I want to see him. I'm going to disagree and say this. I think BK might take the football first this weekend and try to get down and get a score. But you got to open up the purse strings. I'm talking about play calling. You've got to do what you did against Clemson. And I think that if that's the case, you get a little bit of that positive vibe. It could be 10-0 LSU before Florida knows what hit them.
All right, Genesis of Lafayette, again, your premier luxury dealership. They offer the finest cars and SUVs in the region, coupled with the best service anywhere. Genesis of Lafayette has a huge inventory of new and certified pre-owned Genesis vehicles. So for a truly first-class automotive experience, it's Genesis of Lafayette, 6600 Johnson Street, and they're going to exceed your expectations. Shop with them online at genesisoflafayette.com or call them at 877-856-2961 and tell them TigerBait sent you. Jaron Guidry is the sales manager, and his team is ready to help you in any way possible. And there's a reason why they sell more Genesis vehicles than any Genesis dealer in the state of Louisiana. And you see that really great deal on the GV80, 2.99 for 60 months. That is a fantastic interest rate, and they really want to earn your business. The GV80 is the class leader as far as midsize SUVs, and they've got great prices and a great inventory for you. And they've got some certified pre-owned ones as well. What about Baye's, your Oyster Bar, the spot in town for oysters? It's the best oysters in town. 315 North Boulevard, got the freshest farm-raised oysters from Grand Isle. There's no mud, there's no grit, just clean, delicious flavor. And if you're not into oysters, they got boiled shrimp. They got the turkey brie and bacon sandwich, or even a classic roast beef po' boy. Fully stocked bar, complete with top-notch bourbon, whiskey, and a massive craft beer selection. So don't miss out on Baton Rouge's newest oyster spot, and make sure to let them know TigerBait sent you in. And it's easy, guys. You know where the old Jolie Pearl is? That's now Baye's downtown, and you see it on the screen. And they've got oysters in every different way you want them, and trust me, you'll love them.
Trucking it with Casper. If you could give Mike your information, you were the winner of that T-shirt. Crazy scenario. Brubacher is one of my sponsors. Obi over there gives me a score, and everybody's thinking last week it's going to be 42-7, 42-10, or whatever. He gives me 21-7, and I thought it'd be much more of
what did I give you? 52-6.
It was something like that, but so these score predictions. But Casper, I told you, if LSU beat Clemson like you predicted, you get a T-shirt. Give your information to Mike, and I'll send that out to you, my friend.
Amaro Rojas, good to see Mr. Buddy back. Dane Bergeron saying Bays is the bomb. Mike, did you take care of my tab yet? No. Dane Bergeron says, and he also adds that Skeens is on the mound tonight. The Franco Nation, I'm tired of us not being able to score more than 20 points. Need more, because if our defense don't have a good game, we need to see or are able to keep up with the scoreboard, or we will lose more than 4 games. UF now. There's some.
Well, look, I'm going to have to respectfully disagree. I don't see LSU losing 4 games. bottom line is I understand what his point is, Mike, and you've got to have both teams at all cylinders. And LSU, it's obscene that after 2 weeks with this offensive talent, they're averaging 20 points a game and 118 yards a game rushing, and have only scored 4 touchdowns. And so we said it before. We thought the defense was going to have to carry them a little bit. Now this is week 3. You got to start getting a little bit more of a flow. But once again, I asked that $64 million question. What do you want the identity of the LSU offense to be in 2025? And I thought we saw a glimpse of that with all that stuff that we saw called. This is so frustrating for me, Zach, and all the other media people, Mike, everybody else. We get out there and we see these bubbles, we see these jailbreaks, we see the swing passes. Then you see play action over the top. They haven't really hooked up. That was kind of a weird situation with that first interception with Nuss. And so need to hit some vertical balls, but and they didn't go hurry up. Everybody seemed like they were, I don't know. Maybe everybody just was slow pace, dragging. I want to see some pizzazz. I want to see hurry up. I want to see them put pressure on the Florida defense. And look, Nuss even said it. He said, I'll throw it every down. You and I talked to SBK that question before the season. How do you get away from throwing it every down when you're having success? They're hell-bent on establishing the run. I still think you need to establish run by throwing the football first. And so let's see if they can have a little more creative and explosive game plan. We heard explosive 10 times in the preseason, and 20 points a game is not explosive.
Yep. Jeff Garman, Alex Atkins needs to earn his paycheck this week. And Hakeem Batiste, somehow the run game has to affect this game Saturday. That means this offensive line's attitude has to change. Jeremy Frink says his score is 20-6 LSU beating Florida. And the Franco Nation says 30-17 LSU wins.
I'm going 27-16, which was the score Florida beat LSU.
I kind of like that 30-17.
Yeah, okay. But look, the crowd has got to bring their A game too. And, I think that everybody had a little hangover with the game and the weather and everything and the opponent. Give Louisiana Tech credit. They played hard. They hit hard. That's a Super Bowl for those kids. But you got to strap it up now. This is your first SEC game at home. Want to see a better effort and better execution.
Thanks for all of you tuning in right now. We've got 518 people in here. And of course, we're streaming on YouTube, our Facebook page, my X account, and the new TigerBait X account. If you haven't gone and followed it yet, we now have an official TigerBait X account. It's at TigerBait.com. Please go over there and give us a follow. I think we just hit 500 or we're about to today. It's been up for a couple of weeks, and we're dropping a lot of video and stuff there. And again, if you're enjoying the show, please hit the like button and follow us on Facebook. And if you're subscribed to us, if you're not subscribed to us on YouTube, please hit that subscribe button and that notification bell. You'll get notified every time we go live, every time there's a new video posted, a player interview, whatever. Press conference, we'll have that all up for you. And, of course, we'll be back here after the game Saturday night with our post-game show. Dr. John Sibley Butler, is Nuss averaging only 5 or 6 yards a pass? Is that because he doesn't have time to throw long? I think a lot of it's by design. I mean, they want to get the ball out in, 2.2 seconds, whatever it is. And I think it's mainly their hunch that the offensive line is a work in progress.
Yeah.
But it's got to get better than that. LSU's got to have a deep threat.
Louisiana Tech had 3 sacks in this game. LSU, by the way, has 4 sacks for the year. This DA right here, pointing to me, said that they would have 40 sacks for the year. So they're going to have to play a lot of games if they're only getting 2 a game to get to 40. But a little Manda spicy tidbit, folks, this is a big game for the history of the Florida LSU series, 34-34-3. I mentioned it. Can you imagine in 2025 a tie? Goodness gracious. Thank God we got over that crazy scenario. But if LSU wins this game, they'll take the overall lead. Don't forget Man-Defined Meats. You got official smoked sausage of LSU athletics. Tailgating. That's the other thing I heard from the Clemson people that went to Clemson. Tailgating really, really not in the same ballpark. And so get out there Don't know what the weather's going to be like right now, but bring your A game as a fan. And I think Dr. Butler makes a great point. He wants to see the football go down the field a little bit. And you can do that, and you can set that up. So I'm calling it right now since I'm throwing stuff against the wall. Baye Brown is going to score his first LSU touchdown in Tiger Stadium Saturday night. About a 45-yard reception. And look, we know how fast he is. He just got to avoid the.
I mean, look, I've been pulling for Chris Hilton. But look, if Nick Anderson is proven to be a better player than him, and we see what Baye Brown's done, and Xavion Thomas and Aaron Anderson, of course. You had some Kyle Parker. Got to see Destin Hill and what his hand situation looked like, the way that was wrapped up. I don't know how long he's going to be out there. But that's the way it is. I mean, they're so talented. If you're not going to show up, or you're not going to be prepared, or your mind's not where it needs to be, then you're going to get looked over. And I hope that's not the case with Chris Hilton, because I think he's got loads of talent. I don't know how you go from the way he ended last year in the bowl game and representing LSU at SEC football media days to being a non-factor in the first two games.
Well, they've got to help him. They've got to help him get his confidence. Throw the football out to Chris Hilton in space and try to help him along. Once he gets a couple of plays, it's going to be like clockwork. And of course, we know now with Baye Brown and others, they've got more than one vertical threat. I'm predicting Chris Hilton have 5 to 6 catches if they throw the football his way. I don't think it's a matter of passing up, Mike. Look, they've got 6, 7 receivers. They're all going to play every game. So doesn't matter who starts. They're going to play the hot receiver. And good to see Nick Anderson get in the end zone. Want to see Chris Hilton and Baye Brown follow that scenario this weekend.
Carl the Cat Dunn, Skeens on his way to being the first Cy Young winner from LSU. I think you're right. And Brad David, buddy, what do you think of Joe Testator as a commentator? Is he asking that question because Testator is calling the Florida game? Please tell me no.
No. It's Sean McDonough and Greg McElroy and Molly McGrath.
I like McElroy.
Yeah, I like McElroy.
I like him a lot.
Testator is just a little over the top. We all like to be passionate.
Man.
We all like to be exciting. But, man, he could be screaming, watching paint dry, and try to tell you the greatest thing he's ever called before. He's not my cup of tea, Brad. But, once again, look, I like this group they've got on Saturday night.
I went after Testator. What was it? Was it the Alabama-Florida State game he did?
I think so.
And he was screaming the whole time. And but I got him confused. I referred to him as Dari Nalka.
Yeah.
And I had him wrong. But Jonathan Trosclair says where's that? Hilton is a liability in the run game. Yeah, look, if you're not blocking downfield and Hankton sees that, you're not going to play. But I don't know if that's indeed what the problem is.
Well, I'm going to turn it around, and of course, I hate to give me one of my pet peeves tonight, but guess who else is a liability in the effing run game? Trey'Dez Green.
Frank Wilson?
Trey'Dez Green. And BK and LSU and Cortez, you use him as a big receiver. Quit trying to make this guy 6'7", 245. He's not a good blocker. They've tried to have him block inside the red zone. He got hurt in the fourth quarter blocking. He's got 2 catches. Everybody in the country knows he's a mismatch in hell for every other team, and you've got 2 receptions.
How would you grade Frank Wilson's running back rotation so far this season? B?
Yeah.
Give him a B?
Yeah.
All right.
Give him a B.
I think I'll give him a B.
I did watch Caleb Jackson get chewed. Jawan Johnson, of course, is a running back. They threw to him, and Clemson couldn't stop him when they had 3 straight completions out there like him. But this is a guy Mike and I have been waiting to come on the scene. He's still getting acclimated to the size, the speed, and the physicality. But great to see Harlan Berry have that run down the sidelines. And, oh, by the way, that might be a good point because Aaron Anderson and Xavier Thomas were blocking their butts off to get that kid.
What's Harlan Berry going to be like with 10 or 15 pounds on him in a year
Well,
or two?
he's a solid 190 now. If you get him up to 195, 196, he is not going to get any slower. He is going to be a great running back, Mike. Everybody, you were the first guy to start covering this guy in 9th grade. The problem you had is the physicality. He was a little small, and he didn't play great competition. He's going to get better every week.
But I think he is absolutely proven coming from St. Martin's, which first recruit I ever covered from that school.
Sure.
In fact, I'm going to be honest with you, I didn't know that school existed.
Mm-hmm.
Come to find out, it's a really great little school in
Yeah.
New Orleans. But anyways, and that's only because I'm not from New Orleans. But he's another one that proves don't discount a kid because he's from a lower classification school and he's doing against that kind of competition. He hasn't looked like a true freshman to me. I mean, you'd like him to be a little bit bigger, but he's not shying away from it. He'll run over tackle, speed. He's got everything.
Now I want to see the swing pass to Harlan Berry, and they got away with that. I thought that was a great play call. Man, Caden Durham's a hell of a receiver. I didn't think Caden Durham had a great night the other night. He just didn't have hardly anywhere to run. He did get in the end zone with his rushing touchdown. But bottom line is that a little swing pass, a little bubble, a little jailbreak. You go back to the short stuff. You get them thinking. You get that safety kind of creeping in, and then you go over the top with the speed. Let's see some fireworks in offense a little bit better this week.
Todd Davis, St. Martin's, is right across the street from the Saints facility in Metairie. And, yeah, we filmed him a lot throughout his high school career. And someone told me that most kids that would have been in his situations would have been at John Curtis or somewhere else. And it's kudos to him that he stayed at St. Martin's.
And the good thing is that he didn't ever have to worry about being picked by the Saints. So,
yeah. The Franco Nation, do you think we condense our wide receiver rotation? I don't think so. I mean, you're going to know who your guys are, but I think you want to keep rotating them.
Yeah, I do too. I think, look, we had seen Jelani Watkins, who's a speed back. They're probably going to try to redshirt Teron Francis. I don't know if Colin Bailey out will have a role here, but Nick Anderson, obviously Aaron Anderson, Xavier Thomas. Want to see Kyle Parker better. You know, Kyle Parker's pretty sure-handed. He dropped a touchdown. So got to eliminate the drops. And, of course, Donovan Green, in case you didn't pick up on this, he will have an extended role this week now. He's number 88, big tight end, about 250 from Texas A&M. Got him in the portal. He'll have to block a little bit more. And in case you didn't pick up on this little man, the tidbit, Bo Bordelon has been wearing 89, and they're using him as the third tight end. You know, he wears 67 when he plays offensive guard, but I've seen him 89. And the last little tidbit, LSU has a different snapper on punts versus place kicks. Silas Hall, a kid from Episcopal High, a true freshman, number 43, is the snapper on PATs and field goals. Jonathan Ferguson, number 49, is the snapper on punts. And so far, special teams have done okay with the snaps. And, you know, people are wanting to know about Ramos and how many field goals and all that. He's a senior. And so, like I said earlier, this is your year to max out. You've got the best talent you've had here. Let's kick it up a notch and see if they can get better every week.
All right, Capital City Grill. You'll probably see me there Sunday for brunch. The best chicken and waffles in town. And, again, they really want the LSU fans brunch business on game weekend. Go over there and please tell them TigerBait sent you. You probably see me there. It's from 11 to 2 on Sunday. And, again, it's just a fantastic brunch spot. They've got the mimosas and the Bloody Marys, 100 Lafayette Street. And of course, look, if you're not wanting the brunch or breakfast food, they've got sandwiches, burgers, the seafood pasta, almost everything priced at $30 or below for an affordable experience. And the brunch is from 11 to 2, but you can also get lunch from 2 to 3, all the way up until 3 o'clock. Go to capitalcitygrill.net. You can see the entire menu. And like I always tell you guys, it's the best carrot cake in town. You see the dream cake on the screen. And bottom line, if you're in town and you're staying downtown Baton Rouge at the hotel, eat at Capital City Grill before you head back home. They're going to feed you well, and you'll be around a lot of other LSU fans there for their famous Sunday brunch. And what else I got to tell you? Oh, of course, here it is. Alumni Hall. Use code TigerBait, and you're going to get 10% off. And they've got all the new Nike gear, Champion Johnny O on reserve, Peter Millar, Southern Tide at more. They've got all the new Nike shoes. There's 2 different sets of Nikes that for LSU that are purple and gold that are out this year. They've got them both. And, of course, beautiful store in Perkins Row. You can shop online at alumnihall.com and use code TigerBait, all one word. You're going to get 10% off. You're going to get free shipping on orders over $99. They got the Hall Pass reward program. For every $150 you spend, you get a $10 reward for future purchases. And they're just great people. They've got everything you could want in LSU product at that store. And if you're ordering online, the great thing about it is it's shipping from Baton Rouge. You're not going to be waiting for it. So great people over at alumnihall.com.
Hey, real quick, do you know if they have the Bayou Bandits T-shirt?
They do. They
do.
do.
Folks, if you want a really cool T-shirt.
Glad you brought that up. They've got them.
They've got them, and I got the story on this. This was somebody.
But don't wear it Saturday night unless it's a gold one.
No, yeah, you got to wear gold Saturday night. But the Bayou Bandits, somebody in the LSU office helped design that with Blake Baker. I call them the Nasty Boys, but they're not being nasty enough for me with only one takeaway. But that Bayou Bandits shirt, you've got to go to Alumni Hall and check that out. It's a little pricey at about $35, but it is an outstanding T-shirt. You'll love wearing it. Wear gold this weekend, though.
Dr. John Sibley Butler says, Tiger needs some self-motivation for this SEC game. Coaches have coached. Now let's go play. I think both teams are going to be fired up. It's just going to be who's going to punch who in the mouth and jump on who early. And I think it's in LSU's best interest to be the one to do it first and come out with an intensity that you certainly didn't have against Louisiana Tech.
Well, look, I can't wait to watch Jack Pyburn because you know he's going to be talking smack. These guys, he was with these guys for 3 years, and they all say he is a big physical buster type of snot knocker. Look, let's give Patrick Payton a lot of credit. I slept on him. We thought we'd see more Gabriel Relaford. Patrick Payton's been fantastic. P.J. Woodland's been fantastic. You know, you worry about the size of P.J. Woodland at 5'11", 165, 168, whatever he is. But D.J. Pickett, the biggest, tallest cornerback in LSU history at 6'5", 195. He's coming around. Mansour Delane, I think now the scheme is going to get out and they're going to avoid Mansour Delane. So watch for Florida to pick on the corner opposite. A.J. Halsey, let's have a pick. Let's have an INT for number 13 to Marcus Cooley, all those guys. And then, of course, as we said, Harold Perkins, got to get a sack or two for Harold Perkins. Want to see him released. I think everybody was just a little laid back, and it was one of those situations where, you know, you knew you could take care of it. Hated to see them lose the shutout, but now an opportunity to get better. And I just am confident that LSU is not about to stub their toe after what happened last week.
All right. Well, anything you want to add before we get out of here?
Just that don't forget, it is hurricane season. We did not hear any about – I've not watched the Weather Channel at all, but Dimco is one of our great sponsors. One of the reasons I'm on all these shows. Dykes Electric member co-op, David Latona, and his great people. They do a great job. Trust, accountability, communication, levelized billing. Go to the Dimco Storm Watch if we start to have to watch the Weather Channel. Had it been nice, not sweating it. How many times is it right there at the end of August, and all of a sudden you put that thing on, and here
but
comes.
It was what was it, last night or 2 nights ago, where you had it was kind of cool, a good part, and I'm like, this feels like hurricane. You know, I just want us to jump straight to cold weather. I don't want any hurricanes.
And final comment: don't forget, folks. Tomorrow is 24 years with the anniversary of 9/11. And I can still remember it. I was on the phone talking to my buddy, and he said, turn your TV on. And, of course, that tragedy. So please put all of those people, firefighters, everybody, the service people, all of the folks that lost their lives, all those family members, please put them in your prayers tomorrow.
And prayers for Charlie Kirk, his wife, and children, just senseless today. All right, everybody, please hit that like button if you enjoyed the show and subscribe, notification bell, and all that. And we've got a lot for you on TigerBait. In fact, before we went live, I was working on we shot Easton Royal and Brother Martin at East Ascension. I got some great footage. That Easton Royal, the wide receiver from Brother Martin for 27, he is unreal. And
who does he remind you of? I know he's a burner.
I don't have a comparison yet.
But is LSU in good shape with him?
I think so, but he was wearing an Ohio State headband. But
well, Ohio State's paid a lot of money. Hey, wrap up here because I asked you on the show this. Are you watching Blaine Bradford and what he does? Is he back in Tiger Stadium this weekend or you don't know?
We'll be looking for him.
Yeah.
They're going to have a good, very nice list. We've got that list on TigerBait's message board. Please go subscribe and join us. We've got the visit list for this weekend that's been up for several days. We were the first to have that up, I'm pretty sure. It's been up since Sunday, I think. And Richard Anderson video. We shot Shaw and Carr. Go check that dude out.
He's a beast.
He's my number one player in the state of Louisiana.
He is a beast.
That's on TigerBait.com. And I put Aiden Hall's video up earlier today as well. The LSU DB commit from Carr. And so you get a good look at him. Got a lot of video of all the LSU prospects, and we got more. We're going to be out 2 or 3 of us again Friday night. So a lot of recruiting on TigerBait.com. All right, everybody. Good night. Thanks for tuning in.